Good morning, YouTube. Here we are. The windows are foggy, but we're waking up another morning here at RV Tiny House Winter Camp. Take a look around. Scenes from camp. We're gonna set up the chair, but I just woke up. I slept in the top bunk last night. It was cold last night. It was probably 8 or 9 degrees outside, and it was windy. So I had the Mr. Heater on the floor all night long, on low, because it lasts 4 hours on low, and I can sleep for 4 hours straight. I set an alarm on my phone so I wake up before it even runs out, because it doesn't last much longer than 4 hours. So at 4 hours or so, I get up, I put a new tank in. Helps it stay warm in here. Otherwise, I wake up because it got cold in here, and then you got to kind of heat it back up. So I had my blankets last night. You know, I stayed warm. The cook stove here, I put on the floor too, just for demonstration purposes. But that does throw a lot of heat. I know it's probably not best for the air supply in the camper, and it could become dangerous. It also could become dangerous because the Mr. Heater, if it tips over, it goes off. I have that on high right now, but last night I did run it on low all night long. And for the most part, I didn't use this at all. I just turned this on because when I was done sleeping this morning, it actually... I'll turn it off for now. We'll set it back up. We'll set her back up here. I'm going to close camp up. I have a lock on the door, not that it matters. But I take most of the stuff with me when I go, mainly for mice. I leave the air mattress. I take the lantern because I don't want it just to freeze out here and the batteries to go dead. I have extra batteries for the lantern somewhere here. Oh, right down there. I got some extra batteries. But I take the lantern with me. I'm going to leave the stove this time. It's not really worth anything. I'll leave my propane tanks. I take my pan and my plate and my fork because those are from home. Eventually I'll probably leave something out here, but I take the buddy heater with me. It was around $80-90, so in this neck of the woods, people might have a use for it for their hunting blinds and stuff. So here's something that, it's funny, it's the middle of winter. Where is he? There he is. Middle of winter, but as soon as you heat this camper up, flies come to life. So we'll take a look outside. The buddy heater kept me warm last night. It heated this camper. I mean, right now it's honestly probably over 80 degrees inside here. So I'll find I'm gonna put my twins hat here. My twins and wild hat. Put on that because it's cold outside. We'll go outside and we'll take a look around. You know, people wonder about staying in an RV in the winter. This one's been finished out. It's all been redone with cedar, tongue and groove cedar. And the guy who did it said he insulated it too with foam board. The walls are only a couple inches thick, but it's definitely been insulated. I did feel some cold air by the door last night. You can still see there's still some snow on the carpet. The floor around the door was cold. Even by the window, it's a little bit cold in this area. So that's a funny thing about staying in an RV in the wintertime that people don't talk about, is there are certain areas, even though you're in a small space, there are certain areas that will get cold. So like I said, though, the buddy heater definitely kept it warm. It definitely would keep it warm. The propane stove here, which I would not recommend for heating, especially when you're sleeping. Last night I did run it for a while because it just throws an intense amount of heat. But I didn't run it while I was sleeping. I just ran it before bed. And once you bring the temperature up in here, you know, the buddy heater on low will keep it up. I don't know if you can hear it, but it is extremely windy out. Last night when we went to bed, that's my view out the window. When I get electric heat, hopefully these windows won't be so fogged up. But they really do get wet because of the propane. But right now, camping, I'm completely off the grid. I mean, there's electrical hookups there for 12 volt. The lights are. But I am completely off the grid. Next time I come out here, the power will be hooked up. I'm going to be running an electric space heater, and I'll probably bring a lamp that I have at home that I don't like anymore. So I'll bring it out to camp and get a new one at my place. But I'll bring the lamp out, and I'll have electric lights, which will be nice. And I'll have electric heat, which will be nice. I'll still cook with the propane, and I'm still going to bring the propane heater with me. Just as a backup source of heat, because I'm in upper Michigan, the upper peninsula of Michigan, and I'm in a pretty remote area. So if there's snowstorms or whatever, or strong wind, it's very common for the power to get knocked out here for even sometimes up to over a day. So I will always have the propane backup out here, even if I move out here and start living out here. One thing about staying in a camper, in an RV, tiny house, is when the heat turns off, it gets cold fast. It also will heat up fast, but it gets cold fast. So if you lose power and you're depending on electricity, I mean, you got 10 minutes and you're going to be very uncomfortable. So, like I said, right now it's hot in here. We'll step outside. It's windy. It's cold. I don't know the temperature. It's definitely above the single digits now. But the wind is vicious. So last night I think it was 8 or 9 degrees. And I could tell the difference between when I've stayed in the camper when it was like 25 degrees. It was it took more energy to heat last night. I was out at my cousin's house. He was working on some stuff in the garage, so we were hanging out there. When I got back, it was 9 degrees in the camper and 9 degrees outside. I turned the buddy heater on high. It runs for 2 hours on a tank. But I had time to kill last night. I was going to make dinner. And then I did cook some bratwurst and some bacon on the burner. And then when I was done cooking, which I cooked it slow, I just left the burner run on a medium setting, because it really puts a lot of heat into the air. So I let it run. But once it got hot in here, I turned everything off and once I ran one tank out for 2 hours on high, I put another tank in on low for the rest of the night, and we stayed warm. So here's my garbage from a few days. Some propane cylinders and some silicone and stuff, and some grocery garbage. But I did fix a window when I was out here. So we'll take a step outside. Here we are out on the farm. This window has the appearance of being open, but doesn't seem to leak. It seems to be sealed from the inside. So this window on the RV has seen better days, but it does work. So there's the RV. That's the old milk house I set it next to, but there's that. There's no skirting here. I mean, the wind blows right underneath of it. In the future, when I'm set up for more permanently on the land here, there will be skirting. You can definitely feel the cold air coming underneath the camper. And I think that's why it cools down so fast. If there was skirting, I think the heater you could turn it off for a while and it wouldn't get so cold. So, this is the first winter out here. It literally came out here a month ago. I live hours from here, so I'm doing what I can when I can. But come this summer, I'm going to get it skirted. I'm going to mow the grass around here. We're right here on the old farm. Give you a look around. The sun's coming up. It's morning time. Right here we are on the farm. There's the cows. So this is basically, when my window is clear, this is my view out my back window. I'm not planning on hunting out of the camper, but it could be done. This window here, actually, the guy who had it before me was taking, I think he might have been using it as a deer blind. But the deer definitely cross through here with the cows. They eat the hay with the cows. They come into the yard. There's hay right there. They come into the yard. They eat. The farmer had a calf late in the season. One of his cows did. So he's feeding hay right here. And last night when I came in, the deer were running away from this hay bale. So right over here is where I have water and electrical hookups. So next time I come, I'm just gonna we're gonna get a 100-foot extension cord, and I'm gonna run it over here to the camper, and it will be powered up. Inside, I'm gonna have heat. There's the air conditioner here on the back of the camper. Come summertime, we'll be using that. It looks pretty old, but should work. If it doesn't, I'll replace it. But I'm gonna keep the old girl in good shape. Like I said, we'll put some skirting on it. I'd like to build a roof that goes over top of it. The camper would still be a camper able to pull away, but there would be like not a lean-to, but like a pavilion style roof going over top of it to keep the snow and the rain and the sun off of it. So over here I see, I'll try to zoom in, I see the cattle are all just hunkered down in the woods. I think they have some food sources over there too. Might be like a salt lick or something. So zoom back out. But yeah, got a rubber roof on the camper. It seems to be weather tight. I mean, it's windy out here right now, and it seems to be it's cold too. But everything in the camper seems to be fairly weather tight. I mean, around the door there was a feeling of cold air, but not a feeling of wind. And even by this window here, which isn't sealed, I mean, right there, it's, that's open air, but it's clipped in there. But even this window here, there's no feeling of wind coming through. So that's good. But yeah, we've talked long enough. I mean, if you want to heat a tiny house, heat a camper, RV, it definitely can be done in the winter. This one is not 100% normal. It's been, refinished. Everything's been stripped out of it. The walls have been stripped down. It was insulated, maybe better than normal RVs are. I'm not sure, to be honest. But I do know that I can heat this up relatively easy with a small amount of energy. So, like I said, we'll get, next time we're out here, we'll have electric. So this was true off the grid tiny house living the last couple days I was out here, last few days. I got my air mattress and stuff, but next time we will be hooked to the grid, and it'll be more of I'll be doing more transitioning into more full-time tiny house RV living. I haven't totally decided if I'm going to make this my house, my little tiny house for a while. I might. It's paid for. The land is 100% mine as well. Being farmland, the taxes are pretty low on this land. So, and it is an active farm. So, I mean, I could stay out here for pennies on the dollar. I wouldn't be bothering anybody. And like I said, I mean, it would make sense for me to move out to here because it's paid for and stuff. But I am considering, and it's nice. I like it. It's like being in a little cabin, all the wood. And I am considering staying out here in this camper. I'd have to build an outhouse. There's no bathroom. I have plans for how me being a single guy, how I could shower. I could heat up. I have a big stainless steel camping pot. It can heat that can heat water up in minutes. So within a couple minutes, I can have a hot pot of water. If I had one of those big Rubbermaid totes from Walmart, I could set the tote there and I could literally just stand in it and pour water over my head and, have my shampoo there and wash up and a bar of soap, wash up, and then just rinse off and then dump the tote out. And, the tote could even slide under there. And that could be my shower. I could shower in here in the wintertime. I've thought of scenarios on how it could be done. I mean, you get cleaned up with hot water and soap and you put your clothes on and you feel fresh. It doesn't matter if you stood in the shower or you just, poured hot water over your head. You feel good after it's done. So I've done it before. I mean, you do feel fresh, like you freshly showered. So I mean, getting over the where do I go to the bathroom problem and, showering problem, I could damn near have all the comforts of home here. I mean, especially when electricity's hooked up, I'll put in a mini fridge. Maybe on one of the farm buildings out here, I can put in a chest freezer, even a small chest freezer. Washer and dryer doesn't need to really be a top priority. I mean, in a lot of places, there's laundromats. I'm here in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in a remote area, but I do have one of my cousins lives nearby. So it's almost too hot. Here, I'm going to open this up. Little view outside. But yeah, one of my cousins lives close by, and me being a single guy, I do one load of laundry a week. So I mean, I go to my cousin's house, do a load of laundry. I'm in and out of his house in an hour and a half every week at the most. He likes to drink beer, so I go over, have a couple beers with him, do my laundry, and I don't have to worry about having a washer and dryer here. He's even invited me to shower there too. So he's also invited me to stay there. But a lot of people think I'm crazy for. He understands, but a lot of people think it's kind of crazy to want to, stay do the tiny house living. We'll come back inside here. So yeah, we'll, so that's some of my ideas of possibly transitioning and moving out here full time, and working, getting a job and going to work. Right now I pay, like most of us do, outrageous rent every month at the place I stay in my house. So I mean, it's kind of, to me, it's like, why pay rent when I own this beautiful land out here? Why not just move out here, even if it's in a tiny house, and work on improving my situation on my own land? And again, I do have a little bit of money saved. I do work full time. I have thought about, I'd love to wake up to this every morning. But I have thought about buying a nice RV. Not brand new, nice, like some people can afford, but, a nice used one, like a fifth wheel trailer or something similar to that with a slide out. There's a lot of them on Marketplace and stuff for not that, 4,000 or 5,000, which is a lot of money. But if you're talking about a decent home that you're living in, that can be pretty cheap. And, maybe it lasts 10, 20 years. I keep it up and decide to upgrade, and, then it's another 5,000, 10,000. I've thought of that scenario of just finishing out my life in tiny houses, living in campers, stuff like that, out here on the farm. So yeah, that's where we are now. Let's see, I've been talking for almost 20 minutes about the tiny camping and stuff like that. I plan on, this is amateur video, I know. I'm just using my phone here, but I'm going to upload this to YouTube. I do plan on shooting more camping videos, more tiny house living videos. I mean, this is the real deal. I might actually integrate that into part of my life. It gets boring out here. So making these videos does help pass the time. But I might make that part of my life out here where I shoot these, document basically my moving into the tiny house living And the struggles of tiny house living. It is not the same out here, especially being off the grid. I think once I'm on the grid, it'll be more like a tiny apartment. And it'll be easier to set it up with real lights and stuff like that, where I can actually see at night, even during the day. My best light is the sunlight coming in, and it's still kind of dark in places. So once I get it lit up and heated and skirted and all that stuff, which I'm going to document the whole process on YouTube, but it will feel more like being in a tiny apartment, I think. Right now it feels like I'm camping, which is fun. I mean, it gives adventure, and I had a good time. So I'm going to get packed up and make the slow ride back to the cities and get ready to go to work again tomorrow. So, but we will get back to making more videos the next time we get out here. I'm going to plan on, part of my New Year's resolution was planning on spending a lot more time out here, and so the videos should come. I should be making videos fairly often. If you wanted to subscribe to my channel and follow along, you definitely can. I mean, no pressure, but so look forward to hearing from you guys in the comments and likes and stuff like that too as well. So, all right, guys, like I said, we'll take one more look outside the back door at the view. The windows are too fogged up from the propane heat, but let's take a little look out here. And it's a winter wonderland, but we are warm inside the RV. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna wrap up this video. So, have a good day.